So perhaps you've just been diagnosed as having type 2 diabetes. For many people, that's quite scary. The good news is that you're in control, and what you do can make such a massive difference to the eventual outcomes. Perhaps we could actually turn this into a golden opportunity, because along with the type 2 diabetes comes many people are overweight, or they have high blood pressure or other problems. And nearly all of these can be helped so much by lifestyle medicine. So I've found that people who have really cut back on sugar and starchy carbs have changed their lives. And they now think of that day when they were diagnosed and came to see me with type 2 diabetes as the beginning of a new life. So perhaps we could look at this whole thing again and understand that there are golden opportunities in this because you're going to really think about your health. You're motivated and really interested in learning about type 2 diabetes and the way that sugar impacts on this. But bear in mind, so much of it is up to you, and you can make a lot of difference to how this pans out. If I could just add something about medication and type 2 diabetes. Years ago I saw type 2 diabetes as a progressive, deteriorating condition. I really don't now. Most of my patients don't even need drugs of any kind, and years are going by. So I think that's essentially a message of hope that for most people with type 2 diabetes, drugs may not be even necessary. So perhaps you've recently been to the doctors and they've mentioned that your diabetic control is poor. Very often this is based on a hemoglobin A1C blood test. Well, the good news is you might be a bit frightened by this, but at least you're fully awake to the possibility of change. And just as it was at the beginning when you were diagnosed, this boils down for most people to your diet. Perhaps you've drifted a bit. Many of my patients, when I first chat to them about diabetes, know to cut back on sugar and starchy carbs, and then after a while, I call it carb creep. They're beginning to have a bit more bread or a bit more rice, and it's possible that for you, this result, maybe you already know why you're being a bit more sugary than you were previously. So that we could use this as a golden opportunity to revisit what you knew originally about diabetes and think again about how could we actually improve. So perhaps you've just been told that your type 2 diabetes is deteriorating, or your doctor is wondering whether you need additional medication. Either way, it still represents a golden opportunity to tighten up on your diet and possibly exercise as well, because perhaps you may not need that medication after all. And also better diabetic control, better control of type 2 diabetes brings with it all sorts of other advantages, possibly weight loss, improving blood pressure, and just self-esteem. So don't despair. There are always opportunities, always golden opportunities for improving our lifestyle.